अरे यार प्लेन को भी अभी जाना ही है। मैं इतना शोर क्यों है भाई? गर्मी भी बहुत है। इट्स टू हॉट। बट लेट्स रॉक दिस वीडियो एंड एक्शन। My go-to device for 80% of my tasks, be it personal or professional, is my iPad Pro. And I'm in love with this device. And the main reason for that is the beautiful Magic Keyboard of this iPad Pro. It is 12.9 inches 2020 model. I use it with this accessory for almost 90% of the time. I've been using this device for almost 3 years now and it has never disappointed me. I'm not a case guy and never use any kind of case cover or protection in terms of skin, tempered glass or anything on any of my devices. But this accessory is something that I'm proud to own and use it. This is an expensive accessory by Apple which costs 34k for 12.9 inches model and around 30k for 11 inches model. But after using for 3 years, I can confidently say it is worth every penny that you have spent on it. Let me explain you. The moment you hold the Magic Keyboard in your hand with the iPad, you'll notice rubberized silicone material which is very good and premium to hold, and you will definitely feel the density, the weight of this iPad. The weight is equivalent to my M1 MacBook Pro, which is roughly 1.4 kgs. The weight of Magic Keyboard alone is more than 700 grams. It has a pass-through charging mechanism through USB-C port, which cannot be used for any data purposes. It is only used for charging, and it charges little slow in comparison to the USB-C port of the iPad. The top part is full of magnets which are aligned to the magnets of the iPad so that it magically attaches to this case. It has a two-fold hinges system. The first hinge opens to an acute angle, and once it is open, the second hinge is used to adjust the iPad according to your need. And I feel it covers all the angles and all the use cases for all the people. And I can say definitely that these hinges have aged very nicely. I do not have any problem. They feel the same when I bought it. There is no squeaking sound and they have not loosened a little bit. I feel they are better than the MacBook's hinges. Hinges are the third most very thing in this iPad case. The first two being the keys and the trackpad. Now talking about the keys, it is a scissor mechanism keys which gives some awesome feedback as they travel 1 mm. It is one of the most satisfying keyboard that I've ever used in any of the devices. These keys are backlit. That means if you're doing your work in the dark, you can definitely see those keys. And the brightness of the keys can be controlled by the iPad's ambient light sensor, which I feel is very intuitive. The other intuitive thing is the trackpad. It is made up of glass which physically clicks, not like the Force Touch trackpads on the MacBook Pros. The trackpad feels buttery smooth, and all credit goes to the 120Hz screen. If you compare the size of the trackpad with the MacBooks, it will feel small, but if you compare with any Windows laptop, it is at par or bigger. It has all the gestures that you use normally in your Mac, and if you're not used to it, you will definitely get used to it once you start using it, because all these gestures are very intuitive to use. Well, I've seen a lot of videos comparing this iPad with the Magic Keyboard to the laptop or the MacBooks and asking if it can replace that or not. Well, I feel it is a very different device and cannot be compared with any laptop or MacBook. But if you compare with the MacBook Pro, this is thicker and have the equal weight as a MacBook Pro M1. But is this an issue? Why do we apply human logic here on the devices, that lighter being better? Why do you want a lighter device which cannot work properly? What is the advantage of a lighter device? Don't you think that logic is totally wrong, that a heavier device is not good? I feel other way around. More the weight, more the dense any device is, it feels more premium, good to hold and have an awesome performance. And let me assure you, the weight of this iPad is not that much and very comfortable to use, hold in any kind of conditions. And the reason for heavy weight of this Magic Keyboard is once you attach the iPad to this keyboard, it makes it top heavy. So you need to have a heavy bottom so that it doesn't topple once you are using it in your laps. I still feel that they can make this bottom part more heavy so that it doesn't topple, as it tends to topple at different angles when you are using in your laps. But it is very lap friendly, I can say that. I've also seen videos where people complain about that you cannot open this iPad with the keyboard case with one hand, just like the MacBooks. For a heavy user, in a day, how many times do you open the lid of your MacBook? Well, I don't feel that it's a deal breaker. Rather, I would say that there is a different way to open which is very comfortable, and you might get used to it within 10-15 days of using it. And opening it with two hands, I don't feel any problem. I've seen people complaining about the missing escape key and the function row key. There are more intuitive touches in this iPad which you can use for changing the next track of your song or any podcast. There is very intuitive way of changing the brightness, the volume. For the volume, you have the physical button. So why do we need an extra line of the keys for changing the controls? I don't know. You can also see all the shortcuts available for the given app that you have opened by pressing and holding the command key for more than 2 seconds. But does that all thing means that this device, this keyboard is perfect? No, any tech product can never be perfect, and there are definitely flaws in this. The most irritating thing that I have felt while using it for 3 years is this case doesn't have any slot or any place to safely attach your Apple Pencil. This Apple Pencil floats, and when you are traveling keeping it in your bag, this tends to fall inside your bag and it gets discharged. Also, when it is kept somewhere and you have to pick it up, it is little tricky to pick this iPad with a Magic Keyboard case. Also, when you keep this iPad in your bag or there is some pressure applied, after 3-4 hours, I have seen there are impressions of the keys on the screen of the iPad. But there are some great things of this keyboard that makes it the best keyboard in the market. And all the credit goes to the 3-pin smart connector that is far better than any Bluetooth connectivity. There is no lag, there are no glitches, it doesn't get disconnected easily, you don't need to charge separately the keyboard case, and many more good things. I feel if this can be implemented same in the iMacs, I'll be very happy. I love the cursor used on this iPad, which is just the replica of what our finger would touch, round. And also when you go to any icon or anything in the menu, the way the cursor melts in that icon, that is very, very good touch and very intuitive. And it feels more fluid than any laptop or MacBook because of the 120Hz screen that you get in the iPad Pros. Also, this case protects from the damages. So this iPad is around 6.4-6.5 mm thick. And when you keep it in your bag or place it somewhere, it is so thin that it has a tendency to bend. But when it is used with this case, which is very stiff and doesn't flex at all, this iPad is very safe in your bag while carrying and transporting from one place to another. All in all, it's a very different device and should be accepted as a different device known as iPad. And to make the best use of it and be productive, this Magic Keyboard is must. It is definitely expensive, but it is value for money product. And if you want something different in your life than those boring laptops, then this is the device to go for, as it will call you again and again to use it, and while using it, I'm sure you'll definitely do something different, something good with this device. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.